Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Welcome to my real live, non-AI live, I guess that's the best way of putting it. And what we're going to do today is we're going to answer a question that a lot of entrepreneurs have been asking. They've been asking, well, look, I do so many things and my potential clients have such a range of different problems. I find it really hard to understand how to position and package myself in a way that resonates with all of them. Because if I do this thing, it alienates these ones. If I do this one, it alienates these, and so on. And I also feel this is also incredibly relevant to over 40s, because when you're as old as me and maybe a bit older than me, if you watch this, there's a lot of things you could do. So that adds an extra level of complexity into the mix. And on these shows, by the way, these lives, I'm going to be recounting what I've learned from doing over 300 live webinars, 990,000 YouTube views as of now, about to hit 1 million. So we've got a lot of data on what works. And there's actually something you can do really, really simple today to solve this problem forever and land clients. So let me go over to the screen and ask you all a question if you're watching. What is the title of this book? It is Start With. I think you all know it. Start With Why. Simon Sinek, a good 10, 15 years ago, drew those 3 lines on a piece of white paper and launched a career where he's now worth millions and millions of millions. And almost all of you watching this knew how to complete that word. He did the book, he did the shows, he did the presentation. Everything came from that framework. What about this one? I'm not afraid to admit it. Myself and my partner, we've had ups and downs over the years, and I think you would have cross-cultural marriage, different languages, moving country with 2 different kids, visa stuff. Let's just admit it live. Sometimes stuff happens in marriages and relationships. So we both read this book, and we all know what it is. The 5 love, put it in the chat, languages, right? Visually represented in a way that we can all understand, get, and we can all look at it. And one person looks at this and thinks, oh, that I need to work on this one. The other one looks at it and says, I need to work on this. And that's the beauty of it. This simple visual captures the essence of what they're trying to do. McKinsey, if you don't know who McKinsey are, they're one of the leading players in the AI consulting space, or the consulting space now. And their entire business is predicated, built, developed around this very simple framework on screen, the 7 S's. That is to say, that discovery process. What's your current state versus desired state? Sales, we use our proprietary 7S framework. Delivery, there's consistency in there. They're not selling hot dogs and then giving you apples. They're not selling beef burgers and giving you bananas. Consistency in delivery so that the client journey continues and they get results. Content, all thought leadership and podcast and interviews and videos references the framework. They've got no need to dance in front of an IKEA tree. And yes, I do own an IKEA tree. I feel like right now an IKEA tree is pretty obligatory for a YouTuber, but that's beyond the point. Partnerships, scalability, other firms license their frameworks, and the result is premium pricing because of framework authority. So before I go and tell you what you could do and how this is going to work for you and what I found to work best for people like you watching this, let me just share the problem that I had. The problem that I had is we market a range of services. We're not the cheapest in the world. We sell a combination of coaching, consulting, mentorship, done for you content, done for you video, increasingly AI setup, and we take people on a journey. It's really hard. For me, it was on these webinars and these sales calls, especially when I had salespeople working for me, to have uniformity, to have consistency, and to be able to communicate this in a way where people just went, yes, I get it, Mark. I see why you're different to the competition. I'm bought in, I'm invested, I'm going to buy into this journey. Keyword there, journey. Not system, not course, not program, journey. Back to what to do, right? So here is what we did. And EOS, just quickly, EOS, another one very quickly. Entrepreneur Operating System. I just want to prove to you how many businesses do that. Vision, people, data, issues, process, traction. Every business that implements this, it's a startup methodology, they actually get them using their language, speaking their language. If you were to look into cults, if you were to look into religion, because I've read a great book, by the way, about religion, and I love religion. My wife's Catholic, and we are a very religious house. We use different phrases, language, depending on your religion. If you can get people talking your language based on your content, your framework, that's when you've got buy-in, right? Maslow's hierarchy of needs is another one. We all know Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Here's another one of my friends. They're in the fast track. Can't remember. Here's one we did for our client. But look, here is the point that I want to make. Too many people, when they book a call off LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, they're typically bringing people into their funnel, and then they're giving them a list of features and benefits. This is what you get so that you get this outcome. The second thing you get is this outcome. What I found is one specific type of framework structure delivered in one specific way solves the problem of confusion. And what's that? You just saw Maslow's hierarchy of needs. How would it feel? Because this is what we started doing. We started asking people, here's our framework. The bottom layer is survival, whatever that manifestation of survival is in your business, be it health, be it relationships, be it making money, be it business growth. Here's the bottom level. Here's the middle level where you're getting a bit of revenue or whatever. Here's the top level. Where would you say that you're at based on our conversation, Mr. Client? And do you know what they'll do? They'll point at the layer most relevant to them. And that seems like a very small gesture, but what that actually means is you've got somebody who's in a sales conversation or in a prospecting conversation to physically, visually indicate, yeah, that's my problem. Okay, I thought that. And a lot of our clients are also at that stage, Mr. Prospect. So what we generally do is the first thing we'll do is look at why you're there and get you to the next stage where you're going to be A, B, C, E, F, G. And finally, you get to this point. And what does that do? Not only have you packaged your intellectual property in a way that can be absorbed visually, because the visual brain processes information so much quicker than anything else. That's why thumbnails on YouTube and Netflix, they put so much time into it. Not only have you done that, you've also made it clear. You've also got their buy-in to self-identify a problem, and they're seeing the journey they go with you. It's an emotional journey, and they can see the stages. It's no longer features and benefits. So let me leave you with this thought. If you want to grow your business and you want to do it through content, through to sales calls, through to an entire process, don't be that expert that sells the IKEA instructions. When you go around an IKEA store, you don't see bags of instructions and nuts and bolts. Otherwise, you just wouldn't buy anything. No one wants to assemble the damn thing. You see beautifully assembled rooms with model furniture, fake views, so people can picture themselves living in the space and the feeling they've got. People buy emotions and futures, not the box of instructions. And your framework is the best way to represent that. Put in the chat if you have a framework. I would love to know what your framework is, and feel free to reach out to me on a message if you would like me to look at what you've got, or just jump on a quick call and talk you through what I think you should do for your business, having done this for hundreds of people. Have a wonderful day, all right? Bye-bye.